I looked in the mirror and I truly felt like my face looked disfigured.
Your skin is a reflection of what's going on in your inner body.
There's just a huge black hole of skin problems that affect everyone.
Acne is not a vein issue, it's a mental health issue.
If there's a chance something will permanently backfire, do not do it.
Clear skin changes everything.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Biohack-it. And today we're gonna talk about something I love, beauty, and even further, skincare. And today I'm interviewing two founders from a brand that I personally have been using for a year. I love it. I love the results that I've been getting. And you know, my show is all about authenticity and bringing you brands, founders, and practices that I support. So Danielle and Kayleigh, thank you for coming on to Biohack-it.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for flying in yesterday for the dinner and celebrating.
Oh, we had to. I mean, as soon as you sent that over, I immediately texted Danielle. I'm like, I'm moving our flights. We're getting there earlier. We're getting back to Miami early.
We left an incredible trip in Cuba to come back for your dinner, and it was the best choice.
Honestly, people were just blown away because I think a lot of women, this is what I saw last night, the space might be saturated, but they're looking for good brands that can stand behind the science and really back into delivering what they're saying they're delivering. And because you guys are anti-aging, but also anti-acne, which is such a big problem these days, you guys have really kind of cracked the mold on that. So tell me a little bit about, the space was so busy. How did you guys get started?
I love this question. So we cut through the noise by having really strong North Stars. And so the formulations themselves are, like you said, they're anti-aging. They have all the ingredients you want to actually create change in the skin, like peptides, growth factors, bakuchiol, stem cells. But most of these ingredients are only found in anti-aging products that use pore clogging filler agents. So basically, I'm an acne specialist and I've reviewed thousands of products over the years because I have a clinic and that's part of what we do for everyone. And I'm telling you, like 95% or more of products have these pore clogging filler agents. That's why people break out when they try a new lotion, try a new sunscreen, try a new makeup. It's because there's about 100 of these filler agents that all the companies use. So we know what those are. We know how important those are. We formulate around them and then also add anti-inflammatories because everyone benefits from that. And then all the anti-aging ingredients in the concentrations that make a noticeable fast difference. And that's why it's cut through the noise because it works and it gets rid of other problems at the same time.
You said something really important right now about anti-inflammatory. So is it true, because I've read this, but I want to ask the experts, the more inflamed you are, the faster you age, even the skin?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Yep. And that plays, the things that play into effect in that is pore clogging ingredients can cause more inflammation because they're clogging your pores. If you are over exfoliating or improperly using retinols and destroying your barrier and your skin's microbiome, that also accelerates inflammation. If you're washing your face in hot water in the shower and the sink every single day, it's also causing inflammation. And so we really want to reduce our overall inflammatory load of our skin the same way we want to reduce our inflammatory load internally within our bodies as well.
And what are some of your like products that really, like, how do you break up the line a little bit? So this is kind of really delivered towards acne. These ones are really targeted for people listening, be like, which ones are really targeted for inflammation? Or if somebody's starting, what product should they start with?
Great question. So if you're CLEARSTEM curious, basically.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Curious.
I got a bunch of those for you. So first and foremost, if you are struggling with breakouts, congestion, blackheads, you want to solve that immediately because that's what's actively ruining your skin. So that's order priority. That's number one. So we have a free checker on our website where we spent thousands to build this out. You can copy and paste the ingredient deck to anything you're currently using, and it will tell you in red if those ingredients are pore clogging, right? So you're like, okay, call it your lotion. Most moisturizers, and I do mean most, like almost all of them, have pore clogging filler agents. So that's the most natural starting point for a lot of people is they start with our moisturizer and get rid of the one that was breaking them out. Right away, they see a huge difference. So from there, then they start adding to the rest of the line. Then it's our cleanser, Gentle Clean, our Gentle Scrub, which is called Vitamin Scrub. It's actually exfoliating you, but preserving your barrier at the same time. Right. So basically it's just, identify what's causing the problem, swap that out, and then eventually you just get on the whole system and your skin just keeps getting better and better.
Amazing. I didn't even think about it like that, kind of look at it from a skin barrier issue and kind of break it down from that point. I think most women, especially young women, are walking into Sephora and they're like, oh, this looks nice and bright. It looks like well marketed. And they just don't look for what is actually blocking out your pores.
Yeah. It's not widely educated on. It's not covered in medical school. So it's not a conversation being had at a traditional derm office. There's just a huge black hole of skin problems that affect everyone. Doesn't matter how old you are. And a lot of it is stemming from pore clogging ingredients. So that is why we cut through the noise, is because it's a major problem. We understood it and we're solving it.
The interesting thing with pore cloggers as well is a formula for a serum, a moisturizer, et cetera, the actives can be incredible. So the person that was formulating it can mean so well by putting the right actives in it. It's the rest of the bulk of the formula that contains the pore clogging ingredients. And what's challenging for some people is whoever recommended the skincare that they're currently using, they might have such a loyalty to, and they don't want to see or even think that that person could have recommended something with pore cloggers. So they're like, no, this person recommended this thing. They can't be wrong.
They can't have lied to me.
It can't possibly be wrong. That's definitely not what's causing my breakouts. And then sure enough, we plug it in or have them plug it into our pore clogging ingredients checker, and you'll see 1, 2, 3 pore cloggers show up. And again, that person meant well because their education was around the actives, but because there's such a lack of education within the inactives, and that's where the destruction is happening to people's skin, is in the inactives mostly.
What is your individual favorite products? Like, what are they?
This one is so hard to answer. Okay, so acne is both internal and external. Your skin in general, internal and external. What you eat impacts your skin. What you put on it impacts it. So it's funny, we're a skincare line, but one of our top SKUs is actually our hormonal acne supplement called Mind Body Skin.
Okay.
It is fantastic. It's a godsend for anyone struggling with persistent acne where it's not from your products. So it can be from hormone imbalances like estrogen dominance. It can be from general inflammation, too much oil, stress. Like our formula solves that for people, and it starts working in the first week for most people. Like you can start to see a difference. That one's my favorite because of the lives that it changed. And I personally had to do Accutane 3 separate times. It didn't even work on me. I spent years on spironolactone and antibiotics. None of it worked. Mind Body Skin's the only thing that worked.
You know, it's crazy to me. I was looking at this stat, 30% of women who have hormonal acne is correlated to something like PCOS. But when you go to a dermatologist, they're not looking into that. They're like, take the Accutane and here you go. But they're not treating the root cause for the PCOS, which is insulin resistance, which is causing you to then have the acne. So it's this whole thing. And that's where it really disturbs me about the medical system and the beauty industry to some extent. We're trying to treat a symptom and not the whole, like the cause, the baseline root issue. And this is where things have to start coming to full circle. And with you guys, what I love is you work with functional communities, you work with other brands, you work with practitioners. So it's really, I think, holistic in the way you're approaching skincare.
Yeah, it's very, very whole body. And we also spend just as much time talking about the food triggers because that's also not being discussed in a traditional medical setting. So eggs are a huge acne trigger for a ton of people.
Why is that?
There's a few different reasons. It depends on how many you're eating, but the type of protein, specifically in the egg white, can be reactive for people, and it gets you in your lymphatic area. So it'll be like on your lymph nodes in your neck. It can be kind of going down your neck. It can be in your lymphatic pathways in your face. And you're like, what is this? Like, you can tell it's not from products, right? But you think it's hormonal because it ebbs and flows with your cycle, but it's not a hormone issue at the root cause. It's a food issue. So we spend just as much time talking about that. And so like eggs, dairy, whey protein, low glycemic index, like all of that stuff really plays a role. And I think that's why people are so loyal to us, because we're showing them, we're not just trying to sell them something, we're like showing them what's actually causing it.
What's your take on raw dairy?
Dairy is still dairy no matter what. I mean, I definitely sneak some raw cream every once in a while because I swear that's like having dessert in your coffee every morning. But if I have it too many days in a row, I still will break out. So with dairy, as it relates to acne, the quality doesn't matter because it still has IGF-1 in it. So it's still going to spike insulin levels, whether it's conventional or raw. Of course, internally, raw is so much better with the quality of it. But again, as it relates to acne specifically, dairy is dairy no matter what. And some people can tolerate it quite fine. It's not everyone's trigger. It is up there in the top 3 most food triggers as it relates to acne. So one, we absolutely recommend people remove at least for a period of time to see if it affects them. And if they want to bring it in 2 to 3 days a week in more of a healthier form, like raw, and their skin loves it, then go for it.
Right.
But usually for dairy, it's a threshold for people. So you might be able to do 2 days a week in your coffee and be totally fine. But once you start to go 4 to 5 days a week, you're going to see those little bumps again. But we really believe that knowledge is power when it comes to acne. And when you can eliminate things for a period of time, then bring them back in, you can understand your own thresholds And your own thresholds are not the same as everyone else's. So it's good to just know your own. And if someone says, well, I drink dairy every single day and I don't break out, well, that's amazing. They have a very different threshold. Danielle can't even have it one day without breaking out.
I can have it a little bit, but only if it depends on what else I've been eating, but I'm still extremely acne prone. It depends on your, back to the threshold conversation. Everyone's skin has a different level of acne. Not everyone's the same. So some people can, have it 3 or 4 times a week and they'll be fine. And then some people, it's like you just have one serving of cheese. And if you happen to be near your period, you're going to have something on your chin. Dairy does show up on your chin, so it's pretty easy to spot. Dairy doesn't generally get you on your forehead. It gets you right on your chin within a day or 2. So you can tell.
So, for somebody who you guys walked in, you're like, oh, you have great skin. This the biggest compliment I get now is that I have wonderful skin, but it wasn't always like this for me. So in my mid 30s, I started developing really bad hormonal acne over here. And I remember thinking to it was just embarrassing. It was hard to go out. Your skin is your largest organ, firstly. Plus, as a woman, this is your face.
Now, why did you think it was hormonal?
It was hormonal because I went to an incredible, have you heard of Flawless by Melissa in Coral Gables?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so she has, I got my hormones back and they were kind of all over the place.
She carries her Mind Body Skin supplement at her place. We love her.
Melissa's a godsend. So I found her 10 years ago and I went into her and she said, you're having hormonal acne. You need to stop using all these products. You need to simplify your routine. You need to cut things down. At the time, it was a brand called Face Reality that she gave me. And she said, just clean it out. Just clean it out. You don't need to be spending thousands of dollars on products. Less is more for you. You're reacting to the amount of stuff you're putting in. Don't use foaming cleansers. They're terrible for you right now. Don't do it. It's going to activate your skin. And then she looked at the style and the pattern of my acne, the way it was coming in. She's like, this is hormonal. And she started saying to me, look at it, show me your labs next time you come in. So when I went to my functional doctor, got my labs, lo and behold, I was not cycling out estrogen. I had estrogen dominance.
So common.
Was not being, kind of pushed out. And a lot of women are also walking around on the pill, and that is not solving your hormonal issues, right? That's just masking it. So again, you're taking synthetic hormones that add to the problem. And so I remember how self-conscious I used to feel. And now when people are like, you have amazing skin, I was like, wow, I've come such a long way. And it's because of I use your products every single day, but it's the inside out journey that I've been figuring out. It's what am I putting on my face? What am I putting in my body in terms of food? And also how is my gut doing internally?
Yeah, gut health, digestion. And, I always think that, so when I have my clinic patients and the topic of gut health comes up, I find it beneficial for people to think of their gut as 2 distinct kind of chambers. There's your microbiome, and then there's your stomach. A lot of people aren't breaking down their food in their stomach, the enzymes, the stomach acid. We're drinking, cold water or beverages while we eat. All that stuff throws off digestion, and that has a cascade effect on the entire body. Digestion is so poorly understood and not really acknowledged in proportion to how important it is in our medical system in this country. You go to traditional Chinese medicine or somewhere else in the world, and that's the first place they start. So we're big on helping people to eat properly, even just breathe while they're eating, setting the fork down in between bites, actually chewing. It makes a huge difference.
If you're serious about your long-term health, there's one vitamin you're probably not getting enough of. No matter how clean your diet is, nearly 97% of people in the Western world are deficient in vitamin K2, and most don't even realize it. That's why K2 is nearly non-existent in modern diets, but it plays a huge role in heart health, circulation, bone strength, and even brain function. So here's why it matters so much. Low K2 levels can show up as weak bones, stiff muscle, bruising, wrinkles, and even forgetfulness and brain fog. It also is linked to major cardiovascular and bone health issues down the line. That's why I'm so excited about Just Thrive's K27, the only K2 supplement on the market that comes from 100% organic chickpea natto, the best source of K2. Delivers 320 mcg of pharmaceutical grade K27, the optimal daily dose. Has guaranteed potency so your body actually absorbs what it needs. It's microbiologist formulated, clinically tested, and supports your heart, bones, brain, and circulation at the source. I've made it a part of my daily routine, and I think you'll love it too. Check it out at justthrivehealth.com and use code Biohack-it for a discount and enjoy. What are both of your favorite treatments per se, outside of products that you both have tried and loved? I know we spoke about this at the dinner, and a lot of women were like, what products actually work, or lasers? What do you guys love for skin?
I love microneedling
Yes,
so
okay.
much,
Like
specifically
microneedling.
microneedling with PRP to give it that extra oomph. I don't feel like I get the same results just with a serum, so I do really like the PRP. It just gives it that extra glow and evenness, but microneedling is my absolute favorite. I've tested a bunch of other things. I love the ability to be able to change your mind.
Absolutely.
I love the ability to change your mind. There was a period of time where I thought the Virtue was great, which is a gentler version than the Morpheus. I am not about it anymore.
Why did it change for you?
More research is coming out, and I'm listening. I'm always open to my mind being changed.
No,
I'm
that's
like,
one of the
tell
key
me something
hallmarks of
different.
intelligence is changing your mind often.
I love it. So just so much more research has been coming out about the perfect level of like destruction to your skin, right? Damage to your skin, the perfect level. And those really intense ones just go too hard and too deep. And to what we say all the time too, more is not better. With supplements, more is not better. With skincare, more is not better. With lasers and harshness and damage to your skin, more is not better. It's all about that Goldilocks of damage to your skin to really ignite repairing and recreating cells. And I just think the Morpheus, the Virtue, there's so many new ones coming out that are basically all the same things, just different brand names. I am not a fan anymore.
You know what I loved about just spinning off what you just said? It also comes down to the practitioner. So Miguel said this last night at the dinner, right? The right thing in the wrong person's hand is just a disaster, right? So there are a lot of these devices, and I think, for example, I love Pico. This is a laser that I really like. It's really
I've heard
good
good
for
things about that
I've heard
one.
great things about that.
I have darker colored skin. I have to be careful because I can develop hyperpigmentation really fast. So Pico has always worked, but not everybody does a great job at it. So it's not just about like, oh, let me find this laser. Is that practitioner serviced really well and trained to give amazing results with this device?
Yeah.
And the thing is, as we age, because I've done a fat transfer to my face, you want to keep your fat pads and your fat in place because that's what makes you look youthful and young. The skinnier your face is, obviously the older you will look. And so some of these devices are penetrating, like Morpheus is terrible, penetrating so deep that they're destroying your actual fat pads. And so then you get into this vicious cycle to be like, well, I want to look youthful, but I've gone and overdone it and I've lost volume.
And the thing is, it's a delayed effect too, because you do get the swelling, which makes you think it's collagen. You're like, this was great. And then 6 months later, you're like, okay, I've lost this and now I need more. And you're like chasing it. And when Morpheus came out, I was like, that's too much. It's too many things. Separate it out.
Yeah.
And people underestimate the small daily ones. Like I still love my new face. You like can't really hurt yourself with it. And I'll do it, instead of like 5 minutes a day, I'll do it for like once a week for like 30 minutes and I'll go off.
Look at you go. Wow.
I'm not going to do anything every day, let's be honest. But like, I'm like, okay, I've worked in a med spa. I understand lasers. And like, I would literally just go and do like a 30-minute treatment on that one. And it works. But it's like, you want to do what won't permanently backfire on you. If there's a chance something will permanently backfire, do not do it.
What is a laser that you're like, absolutely not?
For me personally, CO2, the really ablative kind, and it can be a godsend for some people, especially if you have deep pitted scarring in your cheeks, somewhere where it's like thick, it can be amazing. I also think that you should focus on microneedling first before you try to do any laser. I would never do that. I've seen people get like permanently older from that, especially if you're naturally thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can burn the fat and it's just like, no.
Causes a lot of damage.
Like I don't even do Ozempic because I don't want to lose weight from my face.
Yeah,
I went and got
course.
liposuction specifically like on the areas I wanted it so that I could keep my face fat. You do not want to mess with that.
And there's also like natural ways, talking about GLP-1s, there's so many great natural alternatives to GLP-1s, like sodium butyrate,
Apple cider
alpha-lipoic
vinegar.
acid, berberine.
Yeah.
Yes. And you don't need to go that extreme. I think it's just other things you can do because you want there to be a balance.
We don't want to
how you
lose really healthy fat and we don't want to lose muscle.
Yeah.
Those are
100%.
our most prized possessions in our body that
Especially
we want
for
to
women,
hold on to.
as we're aging. And I think it's basically every decade, a woman loses anywhere from 3 to 5% of muscle mass, maybe even a little bit more.
Crazy how
That's
much.
a lot. It's a lot. So over a course of a lifetime. And so we have to work twice as hard to eat more protein, twice as hard as to lift more, because every decade we're losing this vast amount of muscle mass. And then you stick yourself with something like a GLP-1, like a Ozempic or a semaglutide, then you're even further causing muscle mass loss, which then can lead to things like osteoporosis. This is where you have to be careful with the industry, right? Things sometimes just get taken so far, and it's like you need to be your own advocate. You need to do your own research, look at ingredients, speak to the founders, get to know their brand story, because I think it says volumes about what a brand is.
I agree. And I think we didn't have to do that so many years ago because there was less brands. And now we do have to really take that extra step to know, why did they create this? What are the formulas behind it? What are they trying to achieve? What difference are they trying to make in people's health, and truly understand the motives before buying into it. And I think that can be a really quick and easy way to weed in and out any type of treatment for our health, our skin, supplements, etc. Like, what's the motive behind it and who's running it?
How do you guys recommend for people listening to listen to their gut when it comes to their skin health?
We think everyone should get blood work. Unfortunately, the kind that you get from your traditional provider, you'll get some info. Like, we're already paying for our insurance. I believe we should use it. You can get, your micronutrients run. You can get basic labs done, have them do a thyroid panel, et cetera, et cetera. But then there's the functional labs where they look at it through a completely different lens. It's not just the markers, it's how they're interpreting them, and it's for optimal ranges instead of just what's, quote, normal in America, because nobody wants normal in America. Hard pass. So having a good functional medicine person or naturopathic provider that you have a relationship with and that you're consistent with to really understand what's going on inside your body. We're also fans of nutrigenomic consulting, where you can actually see how your body genetically processes vitamins. I mean, this might be $1,000 here and there, but it's the best money you could ever possibly spend.
So it goes through every single supplement vitamin that you're taking, breaks down how you're absorbing it?
Based on your genetics, like your methylation pathways, all of that.
Like, for instance, like with, we were talking about NAD last night, it shows, can you process it? Are you better using a precursor to NAD? Because if you do NAD IVs, are you essentially flushing that all down the drain? So it plays so much into effect what your gene codes are.
When you guys both did this, what was like yours versus yours? Like,
you mean like lab results?
Yeah, your lab results. Yeah. What came back in terms of methylation processing? And you guys are like, wow, we're similar, but we're also so different.
Our detox pathways are a little bit different. Like, I sweat a lot. Like, I run really hot, so I can process things out really, really quickly. I think Kayleigh's is a little bit different.
Yeah, and I've been told this from getting blood work for over 15 years now. I have a very just naturally sluggish liver and kidney. I've been told this from not only blood work, but different like intuitive medicine doctors. I've been to body workers, chiropractors, everything. My liver has a really hard time detoxing things out. So I've struggled my whole life with processing out alcohol. Like, there's never been a time in my life where I haven't aggressively felt hungover from alcohol, because my body just cannot break it down properly and cannot get it out of my liver fast enough.
Have you heard about Hepamert's IVs and stuff?
No.
So I just did these. I have this massive bruise from these IVs that I've been doing. But basically,
healthy girls have bruises everywhere from all their injections,
and stuff. It's like one thing after another. So I see this functional medicine doctor. It's actually the same as Jess Berman sees in Morristown, New Jersey. Yeah. And so I did the PK protocol, phosphatidylcholine IVs, and the second part of it was the microbiome IVs. And they stick you with a thing. They do the butyrate, they do the high dose NAC. I can do NAC because I can't take glutathione because of a gene test that I did. And then they give you Hepamerts. And what Hepamerts does is completely detoxes your liver on a really aggressive rate. And I was like, I don't even drink. Why is my liver so stagnant? Yeah. Like, what is going on? Genetics. My liver it's slower to remove and process things and stuff. And I was like, it's not like I'm eating processed food. Okay, once in a while I'll have something fried. I'm very clean. I avoid toxins. Why is somebody as healthy as me having a sluggish liver? And so they give you these IVs, and it basically bursts through and like cleanses out your liver.
What does it feel like?
Like, listen, if you run it too fast, you will throw up. And so I had to run to a meeting after, like a virtual meeting. And so I sped up that IV, and I was like, thank God there was a bin there. I started hurling at the doctor's office and all these nurses came in. They're like, we told you not to take it so fast. I was like, I had no idea. So you have to run it very slowly. Yeah, I thought I could handle it.
I do that too.
I was running it slowly, and then all of a sudden I sped it up because I was like, I'll be fine. And it hits you really hard. And that shows you how powerful the liver is. Because if your liver gets hit with anything super hard, everything you start having a Herx reaction, and your body's like, get me out of the situation. And so I started purging, and I was like, get me off this IV. And they're like, no, you have to finish it. But I was like, oh my God. So you don't feel anything per se when it's going in, but you can feel like a little bit of, sometimes migraines can come up. You can feel really tired. You can feel a little sluggish because your body is detoxing, right? Because your liver essentially controls and masters a lot of hormone production as well. And so if your liver is sluggish and it's not working properly, a lot of your thyroid can't fully be optimized and functioning. So your hormones come into play and effect. So then affects your skin. So it goes back into this larger conversation. So talking about doing the right labs, getting the right kind of working with a functional practitioner, an acupuncturist, whatever, is so important for women listening to this. So both of you let us know. So you did these 2 different methylation tests. Now, has that changed out your supplement routines?
Yes. Yeah. I pretty much don't take any supplements that aren't based on my blood work at this point. Sometimes, I mean, we're our own guinea pigs, so we love testing and trying things out, but my daily foundational things are really based on what my body needs at all times. Yeah, at that time.
Kayleigh, what are you currently taking?
I mean, always the Body-Bio PC.
Okay. That we all need to live on.
That is my staple that I take all the time. I take our Mind Body Skin.
Yes.
So I used to take it every single day when I really needed to get my skin clear and functioning properly. Now I only take it when I'm like traveling and eating, where maybe the food is iffy sometimes, or I'm having some dairy or harder to break down foods. When I want to break them down properly, I want to support my liver, support my hormones, but also I don't want to wake up with a breakout after.
Right.
I do take the Body-Bio TUDCA and sodium butyrate as well, and electrolytes. And then I'm on, those are my only daily supplements. I do take our Glow Time with food every single time.
Yes. I've tried that one. I really like it.
So great. It's like debloating, digestive enzymes, and bowel support all in one. It has been transformative for my inflammation, truly. And then I'm on a peptide routine right now. So those are my only supplements.
Amazing.
And then peptides.
What peptides are you taking them sublingual or injecting them?
Injection.
Okay.
I'm taking AOD right now. I'm taking KPV. I'm taking CJC.
That's great. That's a great one.
BPC 157. And then, Thymolin.
No, Thymolin.
Yeah.
Alpha or beta? Thymosin alpha or beta? A.
Yes. I'm like picturing
you're like
all
A
the
or
numbers
B,
and letters that I'm taking every morning.
Together.
Yeah.
People aren't talking about this enough, but I truly want to optimize your health. We need to be paying attention to EMFs. We are constantly plugged in, surrounded by wireless signals, radiation, frequencies that our bodies have never, ever been able to handle at this level. Research has shown that EMFs can disrupt sleep, impact cellular function, and contribute to long-term health issues. Yet we're rarely talking about this or how to protect ourselves from this. This is why I was so excited when I first discovered Lila Quantum Tech. I met them 2 years ago at a biohacking conference in Austin and was absolutely blown away by the founder, Philip Mon. Hearing him on stage and learning about quantum energy technology completely shifted my perspective. I knew I had to try it for myself. And now, 2 years later, I'm so excited to have them partner with me on my podcast. One of my absolute favorite products, the Heal 360 capsule, which I wear on my quantum necklace every day. This isn't just any pendant. It's scientifically designed and quantumly charged to support your body's natural ability to heal, energize, and protect itself from harmful influences. People using it have reported more energy, mental clarity, better stress resilience, and relaxation, deeper sleep, and faster recovery. And that is also the feedback I got from our supper club when I gifted it to all our guests. Lila Quantum Tech is leading the way in quantum frequency healing with products designed to neutralize EMFs, enhance cellular function, and help your body operate at its best. I personally felt the difference since wearing Heal 360 capsule, and I think you'll love it too. Check it out at lilaq.com and use code Biohack-it for a discount. That is LEELAQ.com and use code Biohack-it. Happy healing. And Danielle, what about you? What are you currently on?
Funny story. I started doing Thymosin A, and it can spike IGF-1, and I broke out like crazy.
Yeah.
I broke
Thank
out
you for
like
bringing that up.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but the interesting thing is I'm glad it happened because every time I break out, I learned something new. And basically it was perfect timing for this too, because in order to reduce your IGF-1, obviously dairy, but I don't have dairy. It was meat. And I was eating just a ton of meat. It was like 75% meat, maybe, 25% veggie or fruit. I had to flip that. I had to just do vegetables to clear out the IGF-1 as fast as possible. So a lot of people are starting to do carnivore diet, and anything in extreme is going to backfire on you. Like you can do things for a time period, especially carnivore can be useful for a certain autoimmune, et cetera, whatever. But over time, people do feel like it messes with their hormones. And, it was just interesting to me because I was always, since I was a kid, so meat forward. Going vegetarian-ish for a month is what cleared my skin up. And my permanent eating style has now changed. I'm like 50 to 60% vegetables and fruits now, and then the rest will be meat. So yeah, that was interesting. But so I stopped that as soon as I figured that out. Daily, my consistent ones are Mind, Body, Skin. I absolutely love that. Keeps me clear. And then I do bromelain at night.
It's a great natural GLP-1. Yeah.
Yeah. Bromelain. I use it for inflammation, actually. Yeah. I take a lot of it at night right before bed on an empty stomach. It has some benefits for like prostaglandins and inflammation. So I love that. And then I also do butyrate. I'm actually out right now. I need more. I do electrolytes from Body Bio. And then I do digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar. Yeah. Apple cider vinegar is
it's a great
fantastic.
Easy, or make sure you guys are buying the organic one though.
Yes.
I wanted to ask something because I suffer from this. I live in Miami, obviously. So I tend to get really easy hyperpigmentation, and you get a lot of women, especially around the cheeks and over here at the forehead.
Same. I'm half Peruvian, so I actually get a ton of pigmentation. Then I get hypopigmentation, which is almost permanent and irreversible. So whenever I'm in Miami, I hide. I wait until it's like 5 o'clock and then I go out, but I'm in the hotel all day.
I had no idea you're half Peruvian.
Yeah, my whole mom's side. Yeah. So I actually.
And you speak Spanish?
And see?
We should have.
I love going to Mexico with her.
This is amazing.
Personal guide.
Danielle, this is incredible. I didn't know this little detail.
Tienes que practicar, pero me encanta.
Okay, so we want to tell everybody here, what do you recommend? Because hyperpigmentation is very tricky.
It's so tricky. So funny story, I actually formulated our line with that in mind because if you struggle with acne, you're also struggling with, hyperpigmentation, PIE, scars, et cetera. So we wanted all the products to be extremely brightening as well. So from our line, you would start with our Clear Kit. It's like the foundation of a clinical routine that also packs in the brightening punch, but specifically mandelic acid. We have a mandelic acid serum called Clarity, and it dissolves the acne inside your skin. It physically dissolves the congestion.
Okay.
Retinols don't do that. So if you have active acne and like bumps and blackheads, switch to a mandelic acid. It's the Goldilocks of acids. So stronger than a salicylic, not as aggressive as a glycolic. So our serum, you put that on generally at night is best to do your exfoliation. So you put that on bare skin, leave it alone for at least 15 minutes and it will dissolve the congestion and the pigmentation being left behind. So you get brighter every time you use it.
And do you cycle it in and out, or you guys use it through and through the year?
You can use it as much as you want. It just depends on how oily your skin is and what you're trying to accomplish. Again, if you are someone who's like, oh my God, I just realized my makeup has been breaking me out. I have bumps everywhere. You need to get that gone. So you want to use it every single night until you're clear. Worst case scenario, you might get a little dry. Okay, great. Take 2 days off, cycle it back in at half the rate.
Okay.
But more consistency is better.
It also depends on your climate in general too.
Yeah,
I use it 2 to 3 days a week in California. I'm using it like 5-6 days a week here, and my skin is thriving from it. Just because naturally my skin is getting a little more clogged by the elements here in Miami, and to keep it really, really clear, my skin's been soaking up the clarity and just getting in there and dissolving everything. So it really depends. If you go skiing in the winter, don't use it at all. I mean, if you're going skiing for 4 or 5 days, like you're already getting windburn. You're so many other things are impacting your barrier. You just want to take a break that week. But as soon as you're back in a baseline of an environment, incorporate it right back in. So it's definitely, again, the whole bio-individual, getting intuitive with your body and your skin. It's one of those things you're going to want to play around with. If you are using it every single day and you're just noticing that your barrier is feeling a little drier, just pull it back. Take a few days off.
Intuitively guide your skin. Yeah.
And you can treat different areas of your face differently. I always tell my clinic patients, because I own San Diego Acne Clinic, and I try to stay seeing a couple people a month just so I can, keep fresh. And I have always told people, like, everyone has their own hot zone. For most of us women, if someone called it the snout yesterday at dinner, and I thought that was hilarious. She's like, yeah, my snout always breaks out. I was like, yeah. So basically your chin for sure, T-zone, the nose, a little bit on the forehead. You can do exfoliation just there and then leave your cheeks or the sides of your face alone. And that's how you kind of get the benefits without any unwanted barrier compromising or unwanted dryness.
That's a really good way to do it. Like, everybody listening is cycle your product in and out depending on the climate and stuff that you're going to see what you need. How do you two feel about water quality? What you're washing your face and stuff with? Because some places have harder, like they say harsher water than other places, right? Are you into using these filters on your tops?
So I've tried them and it didn't make a difference for me.
Really? Okay.
But I know a lot of people swear by it.
Yeah.
I love shower filters because night and day for my hair. Okay. Absolutely. But when it comes to skin, I don't let my skin come in contact with water for that long. Like hair is different. You're shampooing it twice and you're getting out the conditioner. So it's spending minutes on end, sometimes up to like 5 to 10 minutes rinsing in the shower. And that's a lot of water contact. But for skin, you actually don't want to use that much water on your face. You want to use it to be able to foam up your wash and then get a good wash in and then just splash it to get it off. And if you need to do a double cleanse because you had makeup on, again, splash it again. But you shouldn't need more than like 4 to 5 splashes on your skin to get what you need off.
Yeah, and never let the water in the shower beat on your face. That is the one thing that'll age you so fast is using hot water in the shower or just letting the shower beat on your face.
Okay.
Face, neck, and chest. Think of that whole thing.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. In the shower, I will just like get a little bit wet and then I literally back off.
Okay.
And then cleanse. Then you come back in and I just like splash off a little bit.
That's what's causing more damage than the quality of water itself on your skin.
How often do you both wash your face?
I splash off in the morning. I don't do a cleanse, and you want to do that to protect your barrier because you want to keep your own natural moisture. Yeah. So splash off in the morning. Some people can do like a toner cleanse, choose your own adventure with that, but you don't need like a deep cleanse in the morning. At night is when you want to do gentle clean. That's when you do a double cleanse to get off your makeup and everything.
I only wash my face once, which is at night, and in the morning, whatever, I'll do a toner, and that's it. And it's really helped my skin because I want to keep my skin barrier in place.
Especially if pigmentation is a concern, you don't want to be stripping your skin.
Yeah, we want those natural oils are so protective.
Right.
That's why some of the skincare we've seen come out over the years, there's always a new one that's targeting a bacteria of your skin. We're actually not big fans of that because your skin's microbiome is the bacteria of your skin, and it does play a really important role in protecting your skin from the elements, for preserving the hydration levels of your skin. So we actually don't want to, quote, kill the bacteria all the time on our skin, right? We don't want to be doing that in like a whole system of everything that's designated. Every once in a while, like we do want to kill some of the bacteria the same way that we're focusing on our gut health with rebalancing it so it can get unbalanced. But it's definitely more of the mandelic acids of the world, the hypochlorous acids of the world. Those are going to be the healthier ways of dealing with the bacteria of skin.
Yeah, that's why, we're at our core an acne company, but you won't see benzoyl peroxide because I've seen that destroy too many barriers and people get over-reliant on it.
And that's such a common one.
It's extremely common and it has its use cases for sure. I always tell my clients do it as a mask, but we prefer sulfur anyway. Drying out your skin generally is like the only thing that you're told to do if you're trying to not break out, but then that makes you age faster. So it's that delicate balance of preserving your bacteria, getting the antibacterial action that you need only where you need it, without any unwanted side effects from overdoing it.
Right. There was this was really interesting, going off this talking about inflammation and worsening acne. A recent study showed that the average person consumes 60 pounds of sugar a year. This is like recently, especially in the standard American diet. So I'm just like, you guys are complaining about, women are walking around complaining about inflammation and acne, but you're consuming about 60 pounds of sugar a year because it's hidden all in your ingredients. Yeah. So how do you two, from when you go shopping, when you go down the grocery aisle and stuff, right? I know this is a very Courtney question, but you guys have great skin. And how are you kind of like looking around for hidden sugars, for preservatives in your food? Like, how do you guys shop?
Looking at nutrition labels and keeping everything as unprocessed as possible. I mean, really clean meat and seafood, cooked vegetables. I think cooked vegetables are a little bit healthier for people than raw a lot of the time. And then low glycemic fruits. You really can't go wrong. I think when you're buying, like, if your coffee is where most people get a lot of their sugar. Starbucks, God, haven't been to a Starbucks in forever. I went one time and like wanted to throw up. I think people are catching on to that. So it's mostly in a lot of beverages.
Okay. And for you?
Yeah, I always think of like what feels normal to eat as a human, and it can seem boring to some people. I actually find it so liberating eating very simple. So, we just got to Miami, so I placed my Seatopia order of like all my fish to the freezer.
Ever,
I was chatting with some of the girls last night. I'm like, where do I go to pick up my regenerative grass-fed meat? So because I just stock my freezer full.
Amazing.
And then weekly I just get like vegetables and fruits. So I just have like arugula in the fridge. I'll have bone broth in the fridge too, but I eat very simply, and I find it so freeing because I like to eat to feel good. To me, there's no worse feeling in the world than eating something and feeling like crap for the next few hours. And I do feel like that is like the twists and turns I make throughout my life is like I avoid things that cause so much uncomfortability when it comes to like food and alcohol.
Right.
Like that's why I don't drink very much. I really hate being hungover. So I'm like, I don't want to cause my body more destruction and then have to deal with it. So I'm like, ugh. So I definitely eat to avoid feeling certain ways and then eat to, again, feel certain ways. But I used to work back in the day, like one-on-one with people doing like nutrition consultations and coaching and guiding them through it. And the first thing we would do is do a pantry audit. And we'd go through what didn't need to be in the pantry and the fridge anymore, what just built up over time in there. 2, we'd find all their favorite things. I'd teach them how to read an ingredient label and then how to find similar alternatives that can just be so much better, that can still fit that craving that they want, where they can still feel really fulfilled and excited and they don't have to feel like things are being taken away, because that's a lot of times how it can first feel to people. They're like, well, now what can I have? I can't have anything. And it leaves them feeling really defeated. But I would always find alternatives that would fill that same gap for them. And then they'd start to feel better. And once you start to feel better from eating a certain way, you just get more motivated.
Absolutely.
If you're spending hundreds on skincare but ignoring one of the most powerful anti-aging tools out there, you are missing out, my biohackers. I'm talking about red light therapy and Bond Charge's red light face mask. It has completely changed the game for me. Red light therapy isn't just another hype. It penetrates deep into the skin, boosting collagen, reducing inflammation, and easing signs of aging. And the best part, it's cordless, it's lightweight, and totally painless. So I can wear it while I'm getting work done, watching TV, or even making a quick smoothie for myself or taking my dogs for a walk. I've tried a lot of skincare treatments, and let's be honest, some of them are messy, others are time-consuming, or just plain uncomfortable. But this mask makes it so easy, just 10 minutes a day, and I've noticed my skin is brighter, clearer, and even more even-toned. No downtime, no hassle, and because Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, you can use your health-saving funds to invest in your skin. Trust me, you need this in your skincare routine ASAP. Right now, my listeners get 15% off when you order from bondcharge.com. Just use my exclusive code Biohack-it at checkout. That's bondcharge.com, plus you'll get free shipping and a 12-month warranty. Again, that's Biohack-it. Go grab yours now. Your skin will thank you later.
Sugar is one of those things, you cut it out immediately and you're like, oh, you get like a come down essentially. But then when you have it again, you're like, wow, this was never good for me. Like it changes. So a little sugar detox here and there.
It's definitely something you should be doing. Yeah. Just because I think like our microbiome in our stomach is already so broken down. Sugar directly leads to inflammation. We're already walking around chronically inflamed. Only 7% of Americans are actually metabolically healthy. So all of this is just one thing upon one thing upon one thing. And your skin is a reflection of what's going on in your inner body. So you need to be taking care of the insides plus the outside as a combo treatment. You can't just be like, well, just do one thing and it's going to work. It's your environment.
Yes.
It's approaching it like that.
My favorite advice I love to give to people, because Danielle and I are always getting questions like, can I have this? Can I have this? Is this bad for you? Et cetera, all the time. And I always explain to people, your toxic load of your body is like a bucket. And all of these things, can I have this? Right. Is this bad for you? One, if you're asking that, it's probably something that's contributing to your toxic load.
Absolutely.
And then I tell people from there, it's just a choice. You get to choose the things that you want to contribute to your toxic load and choose what's not worth it for you. But no, once that bucket fills up, it will keep filling up, it'll spill over, and then that's when the inflammation cascades to your entire body. So your overall goal should be finding the things that aren't necessary that you can do to reduce your toxic load, and then the things that you know contribute to it. And like, again, I think knowledge is power on this. You know it contributes, then it's a choice. If you want to have alcohol and you're like, that's how, like, I know this is contributing to my toxic load, but I want a glass of wine. I want a martini. I will have a martini. I will have a glass of wine. And I know it's contributing to my toxic load, but there's other things that I've taken out that I'm like, I choose not to do that. So I don't judge anyone based on what things that they want to use for their, like, building up their toxic load. It's just the awareness of it. And then you have a choice. You know what happens if you do too much of this and it spills over, but where can you just find that balance of like those things that you truly don't want to give up, that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. Just get rid of some of those other things to make some balance in it.
Or go to hot yoga and sweat it all
sweat
out.
it out.
Minute for minute, I haven't found anything better than hot yoga for your lymphatic system, or like it's like a oil change for your bodily
Absolutely.
fluid.
And your nervous system.
Yeah, and like the circulation because you're doing inversions, like and just the breathing, like hot yoga makes such a difference. And I've been doing it for over 15 years, but when I travel, I fall out of it.
Of course.
And I notice a huge difference when I like ebb and
Sluggish.
flow.
So just before I walked into the recording, there's a really famous influencer who's been posting about her really bad acne journey, and I thought of you. So, Alex Earl has been going online, basically posting on TikTok, posting on Instagram about her horrible, poor
I saw
girl,
this
beautiful
new
girl,
one this morning.
like crazy. And you're an acne expert. So if Alex was your patient, how would you treat it?
I would immediately go through her hair products because generally products for blonde hair are going to be a lot more hydrating and they're going to have a lot more pore cloggers in them. And based on the pattern, I do think that's part of it. I would also go through her makeup. I'm guarantee her makeup is breaking her out. And then I would just
watch
go
her
through
videos, it is.
It for sure is. And then there
I
were
know
some
which ones have pore
supplements that she was
cloggers.
on that I would just go through the same process that we do. We basically take people through a mini version of my process on our skin quiz. Helps you to think about what vitamins you're taking that are accidentally spiking your testosterone because there's a ton of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or they interfere with other enzyme processes that have to do with like DHEA and DHT. So, the hormones are so complicated. So I would do a supplement audit for sure. I would see what her detox system is like,
Methylation
how's that
and
poop, girl?
detoxing, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of it's in our products. So I would do an audit on that, get her on the right makeup, get her on the right hair care, and then get her on ClearStem, and she'd start to see a huge difference.
She should. That's why I was walking and I saw and I was like, oh my God, this is perfect for Danielle. I want to hear what she thinks about this. And nobody, I'm surprised like almost no one's reached out and said, hey guys.
I
Like,
think too many people are reaching out.
so
Yeah,
she's probably getting bombarded.
She
Yeah.
posted about the person that she went and saw for her acne. And I just, we loved it. We have a huge esthetician and practitioner network. So we always love to see who's seeing who. And I go to her website of all her recommended products. I couldn't find one that didn't have pore cloggers on it. From the person she was seeing in New York, her website of all her recommended products, they all had pore cloggers. And that is just, that's the first red flag to us. Like if you are a true esthetician that helps with acne. Again,
acne is a specialty, by the way.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, the average esthetician does not know this stuff.
Yeah. If you're recommending products that have pore cloggers, that is not the right person for you to be seeing.
Correct.
Not saying that's not the right person for someone else that does not have acne concerns. I'm sure they're amazing, but again, you need to be going to the right estheticians for acne. And we work with so many of those practitioners and estheticians. We train a lot of them too. A lot have gone out to train under Danielle and I. We host master classes for them too. So for people that really want to support the acne community more and be of service instead of be of destruction, because there are a lot of esthetician that can cause more destruction to acne skin. And I say that because that's what I went through. Before
I went through that too, before I became an esthetician.
Before I met Danielle, I went to so many different estheticians and I had no idea where to turn when it came to skincare. And I tried so many different lines. I brought them all to Danielle, every single line from every single esthetician I had gone to before Danielle, they all had pore cloggers. Danielle was like, all of these are contributing to your acne.
Yeah, so
all of them.
Kayleigh's acne was actually worse than Alex. And had,
and you
had
like
like
skin
11
now.
different
Alex's,
triggers.
but like add like pustules to it.
For how long?
About a year.
Wow.
Going to estheticians, doctors, dermatologists. Like I was.
And that takes a real beating on you in an emotional sense.
I didn't
mean,
wanna
if
leave
somebody,
I did not
mine
wanna
was
leave
not
my
as bad
house.
as Alex's or maybe what you're describing, but it ate away at my self-confidence.
For sure.
Oh yeah. I looked in the mirror and I truly felt like my face looked disfigured. I started to have a bit of an identity crisis and feel really depressed because every time I'd look in the mirror, I genuinely didn't see myself anymore. And that was the most confusing thing to me. Like it felt so dysfunctional just looking in the mirror and not seeing your face look back at you that I just started to avoid all mirrors. I would just pack on like theater makeup before I left the house, but I could feel it all the time because it was such strong pustules. I could feel it and just felt like everyone was looking and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel myself. It was mentally a really rough time. And we talk about this a lot that acne is not a vein issue. It's a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Like it becomes a mental health
Absolutely.
issue. And I mean, really why we created ClearStem is because ClearStem changes everything. clear skin changes everything. It not only helps with your confidence and just the simpleness of your skin getting clear, but you discover yourself through the process. And you become more intuitive. You learn your own bio-individuality. You learn more of your self-worth. You get to like play with foods and supplements and just get to understand your own blood work. And so it is acne is a self-discovery process. Right. And on the other side of it, when you finally clear your skin, it changes everything for you. And many times for a lot of people, puts them on a new trajectory in life.
And when you came to Danielle, did you start with obviously clearing out her products? And then what was the second step? Did she start treatments? Did she start doing, okay.
So when you come to San Diego Acne Clinic, it's like an 1.5 hour appointment, your first appointment. We have you bring everything that you're using. We go over every single full ingredient deck. Like every single one.
Wow.
Eliminate right there what's causing it, replace it with either ClearStem or another acne safe line, just depending on budget. And then we go over diet. So I spend about 20 minutes on diet. What are you eating and when are you eating it? Eggs are a big trigger, dairy, when people are having caffeine. Some people are really sensitive to coffee. I'm very sensitive to coffee when it comes to my skin.
When you say sensitive to coffee, what does that mean?
Like acne, like it can make you, it fires your oil glands essentially. Anything that speeds you up can break you out.
Okay.
So I only do matcha. I rarely do coffee.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just go over stuff like that. And then I'm looking at the person's skin too. I'm seeing is what they're telling me, matching the patterns on their skin. Then we do a custom treatment. I do a sensitivity test and we do a ton of extractions. Basically my process for a facial is really unique and I'm kind of softening the skin so that I can like excavate it for extractions. And I'm pulling out everything inside the pores and looking at it. And then I put it on a napkin and show them. And like a lot of the stuff.
That must be so satisfying,
It's very
guys.
satisfying, yes. And it's satisfying to get it all out because they're immediately smoother. So I will literally put it in my hand and I will try to squeeze it with all my might and it will not budge. It's like a hard ball of wax. That's what pore cloggers do in your pores. They harden and they turn into this like ball of wax essentially. So that's why it's so important to have an acid to break it down because that's the antidote. So anyway, we go through this whole process, custom treatment, and then I make sure that what's inside their pore is matching what I found when I went through their products. If I looked through their moisturizer and I saw that it had coconut oil, I know I'm gonna expect to find an orange ball of wax inside their pore. And, something like that. And then I know if it's from like eating too many eggs, I'll know the pattern. If it's from eating too much sugar, it'll just be like extra oil and that's a little bit softer and a little more golden than orange. So it all matches up.
And you said something earlier as well, and so I wanted to go back to this because you're such a specialist. How often should people be pooping? And what can you tell from their poop?
At least once a day. At least once a day. Hopefully twice.
Yeah, goal is 3 times. But
really?
if you
Three
can
times?
That's like the ultimate goal. That's for the woman that's running around doing all the things all the time. 3 usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they're stressed to the body, right? So like aiming for 1 to 2, I feel like is a perfect goal.
And what's your take on colonics and coffee enemas?
I'm a big fan. I think if you've been constipated for a while, solve that problem.
Okay.
Especially if you're traveling or you're dehydrated, it can just throw everything off and you eliminate excess hormones and, just a bunch of other crap literally through your crap. So you get it out of there. I think a series is really beneficial for people.
Okay.
Like say if you're really backed up, doing a series of like 3 with like clean coffee enema. Obviously the place you go to and the practitioner makes such a difference, but that can just hit reset. And then from there, it's like you have a clean slate and you're so much more motivated to do everything right from there on.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also a difference between, I feel in the wellness world, foundational support and like cycling things. So more of like a protocol version. So there's the foundational things you should be doing almost every single day or weekly. And then there's the protocol things. Right. And I feel that Colonic fits into the protocol category. To Danielle's point, kicking off with a series, I think is one of the best things to do. Like if you can get with your very first time, if you can get 3 in 1 week to kick it off, that is the best. And then maintenance is different for everyone. And again, I would talk to your colonic practitioner about it, depending on what they see, because they're really going to dictate. And again, you want someone that just doesn't want to take your money and get you an off, and you want someone that's really analyzing what's coming out of you. So is that every other week for a protocol? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly for maintenance?
Right.
If you know me, you know I avoid seed oils like the plague. They're everywhere, even in snacks labeled as clean, organic, or healthy. But the truth is, they wreak havoc on your metabolism, your hormones, and make you super inflamed. That's why I'm obsessed with Prima, one of the few products I completely trust. Prima was created to push back against processed artificial foods and bring us back to real, nutritional, ancestral ingredients that actually nourish your body. It's packed with 100% grass-fed beef tallow, grass-fed collagen, and grass-fed whey protein, delivering bioavailable nutrients for muscle recovery, joint health, and overall vitality without any of the junk. No seed oils, no refined sugars, no artificial additives, and the best part, it's one of the few products that is certified seed oil safe. I always keep Prima stocked in my bag. It's my go-to post-workout, between meetings, or anytime I need an easy, high-quality protein boost. Getting in at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight can be really tough, but it's essential for building and maintaining muscle as you age or going through a fertility journey in your 40s and 30s like I am. And the flavor is delicious. Cacao, mocha, and salted caramel. You really can't go wrong. My favorite flavor is the salted caramel, plus the Prima bars are sweetened with organic raw honey and only contain organic whole food ingredients. So you're fueling your body with real clean nutrition. Because you're part of the Biohack-it community, you get 20% off. Just use code IMAN20 at eatprima.com. Ditch the seed oils, fuel your body right. You will feel the difference, I promise.
What do you guys take on like parasite work, like parasite cleanses, or not like the fatty ones, but you know how sometimes parasites can also lead to skin congestion and things like that. Have you guys done any like parasite work?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan in relation to blood work.
Okay.
So I think some of these modalities can get, for some people, can get really taken out of context.
Oh, 100%.
And they can just do things like people can become addicted to colonics, and then that's messing with your
actual,
like, oh my
system.
gosh, your hydration, like your bacteria, everything. And so sometimes so many people can get a bit of addicted to cleanses and these really intense protocols because, again, they think intense is better. But parasites, you can easily see those on blood work and know where you can just do a basic die-off. Because like a lot of body bio products just foundationally can help support with getting rid of parasites without it being a really intense cleanse. But if you have really heightened levels in your blood work where it's a serious problem, I think parasite cleanses for most people should be recommended by practitioners.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should just be roguely doing that unless you're a practitioner yourself and you have a deeper level, but most people, like, it needs to be recommended by a practitioner.
So I feel like most people, parasite, just for anybody listening, like parasite work should come after you start your lymphatic system is actually moving. Your actual drainage pathways opening is like the first thing that you need to start. You need to support your body. You need to support your cell membrane so it can actually be supported when you start a detox process so you don't start feeling worse during your detox. And then the parasite work kind of comes in as an after layer. And you have to be, I personally believe you need to be really specific about the kind of parasite work you're doing and killing them off. So the same doctor that I'm seeing who did the Hepamertz IVs has now put, I'm actually doing a 3-day colonic coffee enema thing starting today.
Love that.
Love that for you.
I'm so jealous right now.
But it's because I went to her, she tested me, she came down to the exact parasites I had, and then she puts you on a pharma grade protocol that's like, in my case this time it's 2 weeks, and I went through different, I took ivermectin, I'm on a different one right now, and it goes through each scale, and she said, when you're doing this, then you do the colonics and coffee enemas and kind of kill everything off in one go. So, but that's what, and I just think it's too much when people go aggressive with any of these protocols and they take it and they're like, oh, it's a full moon, I'm gonna do a parasite cleanse. No.
Yeah.
Just
and
no,
too soon,
just please don't.
Especially when it comes to acne, people jump to the extreme so fast. It's like they have acne and they jump to, I have parasites, I have like all these different things. And it's like, you have to start with the pore cloggers first.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. Yeah.
Let's start, because if you can do all the parasite cleanses, all the colonics, all the coffee enemas in the entire world, but if you were still using products that have pore clogging ingredients, your skin is not going to get clear.
Yeah. Pore cloggers.
Literally. So it's like you start with the pore cloggers, then you remove like the known food triggers, the dairy, the eggs, the gluten, the excess sugars, taking care of those. Then you like simultaneously move on to certain supplements. So again, excess amounts of vitamin D, zinc, B12, and biotin. Right. All of those in excess are also going to cause it. And people are taking them not only in supplement form, but you'll find them in greens powder, protein powders, electrolytes, like all of the above. And for people that don't know, because people love powders and all the things, colostrum is a big craze right now. Right. Colostrum is dairy. So if you break out from dairy, you will break out from colostrum. Stevia is a big one recently.
Yeah.
And
stevia is what caused my setback about a year and a half ago.
Stevia is terrible for you.
It's terrible.
I don't know why
and
people have thought it's okay.
Yeah, it used to just be in baking goods, right? So you'd have it every once in a while.
Right.
But now, again, it's in electrolytes, greens powders, protein powders, supplements, flavoring, packaged goods, everything. And so you're getting so much of it and it's acting as a progesterone blocker, throwing off your hormones. So we need everyone to start there. And then if you've done all the things and your skin's gotten clearer, but there's still something underlying going on, that's when you can move on to the blood work, working with a practitioner. Maybe it's a Parasite cleanse, maybe it's a series of Colonics, because it's those next level things that your body needs to get stuff out.
And so for each one of you, as we're coming, towards the end of the episode and people are watching, they're like, I want to go buy their products right now, which by the way, you need to, because I swear by these guys and I've been using your products for a year now and I love you guys.
Your skin looks amazing.
Your skin's glowing.
Well, I love ClearStem and I just don't say it. It's like, I travel with it everywhere. It's part of my everyday kit, morning, PM, AM, PM. So if somebody was supposed to buy from each one of you, if you recommended your 3 top products, if they had to be 3, and going into the summer and the time of year that we are now, Danielle, what would be yours?
Okay, Mind, Body, Skin for sure, if you're actively struggling with breakouts. And then I would do, going into summer, You Are Sunshine, which is our sheer sunscreen. It's 21% zinc.
I love it.
It's fantastic. That's like what surfers use. But we designed it to be sheer and it doubles as a primer. Sometimes I throw a little bit of my liquid foundation in there, make my own like custom color cream. It's fantastic. And that's really important because most sunscreens break people out. Everyone who has acne has had the experience of a sunscreen breaking them out. And so we just didn't use them. So I was very happy to solve that one. And then the next one, I would say, just because we're big believers in infusing joy into your life, skin spray all day. The purple spray.
It smells so good.
Yeah, and there's no fragrance.
It smells so good.
Yeah, it's just natural botanicals. We love using aromas from botanicals that also deliver actual skin benefits. So this one makes you so happy. It enforces the mind-body connection because you're using it all day, keeps your barrier hydrated. We love it if you can't tell.
So I want to talk about your sunblock just for a minute.
Sure.
I love your sunblock.
Isn't it great?
It's amazing. So I was using Elastin, which I still kind of cycle in and out, but I got your sunblock and I fell in love with how light it was. I did not feel like the skin kind of was clogging, but it also gave me this nice glow. Yes. So in the summer, when I'm traveling and stuff, should I double up? Like, should I apply it twice a day?
I definitely do 2 layers.
Okay.
Because I have the same concerns. I do 1 thick layer, let it dry, and letting your layers dry in between application is a best practice.
Right.
But if you're in a hurry, like all of us are, I just do my blow dryer on Cool Shot to set it, and then I immediately do another layer. And then from there, it doubles as a primer, and you can just put your makeup on over it.
And how many hours does it last? Like if you're going to a beach and stuff, should you top up after 4 or 5 hours of being in the water? Or how should you put it back on?
Anytime you go in the water, immediately put it back on. It is sweat and water resistant, but I still think it physically is going to take some of it off. So reapply.
Absolutely.
Better safe than sorry. So do that. And then, but the thing is, you can still see it on your skin even after the end of the day when you get home.
Yeah.
Chemical sunscreens, like the ones with avobenzone, homosalate, all that. A lot of people use them because they're like easier to apply, but you can't tell when it has stopped working. This one you can still see.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of reapplying, especially if you're going to be outdoors or sweating. Just apply it the moment you get back home.
Amazing. Kayleigh,
Okay, if I had to pick 3, so since Danielle went more of the acne route with Mind, Body, Skin, I'm just going to talk to the consumer that just truly wants the best skin of their life. Maybe it's just feeling, maybe you're not super acne prone, maybe it's a breakout or 2 around your period, but mainly your concerns are texture to your skin, it's just feeling dull. It's just not the best skin of your life yet, but that's what you want. So I would get Gentle Clean because you need a great face wash that can remove makeup without the tugging.
Yeah.
Because you need it to melt your makeup off. The second you're tugging your skin and your eyes to get your makeup off, you are accelerating your aging and damaging your skin. So Gentle Clean melts off your makeup, you can get it off. And then I would do Clarity because not only does Clarity get in there and dissolves the clogs, but when you do that, you're also evening out the texture of your skin. You're also getting what I like to call your own skin's autofluorescence shining out. You know when someone's just like, you are glowing right now. That's your skin's autofluorescence. You can't, quote, buy that, or there's not one product for that. It just basically means your skin's actually breathing. Your pores aren't clogged, and your own natural oils are just coming out through your skin. Amazing. And so when you're using our Clarity Serum, it's getting in there and it's dissolving the clogs. It's allowing your skin's own natural oils to just mix in and play into effect the glow of your skin. And then I would get our Hydro Glow Moisturizer because
I love that moisturizer.
It's so good.
And there's this one that also doubles. It's a mask, but I sometimes when I'm in a
the Hydro Berry.
I use that as a moisturizer when I go to a really cold place because my skin gets really dry. I sleep with that all night.
You can wear as much as you want with that.
Love
that and
that
Golden
mask.
Hour. You would love the watermelon oil.
Yes. I have to try this one. I don't have this.
It's funny
a
because I
barrier
know
oil.
I love Hydro Berry and I use it almost every single day in California. I notice I'm not using it here in Miami.
You don't need it.
You don't need it. But if you go to a dry climate, if you're going to Arizona, Colorado, like basically the West Coast, if you're going skiing in the winter, Hydro Berry is an absolute must. The normal moisturizer I use every single day is Hydro Glow. And it's been really fun to test our products, not only in the dryness of California, but then the intensity of humidity here in Miami. And I have been loving the glow of Hydro Glow here in Miami because it's such a beautiful moisturizer that it soaks into your skin and
amazing,
adds multiple layers of hydration without the greasiness look at all. It doesn't feel greasy. It doesn't feel tacky. It just absorbs in beautifully. And so no matter the dry climate, the humid climate, it just works without clogging your pores.
I'm so excited for my audience to get to know you guys better and your brand because I literally was a convert. I think I met you guys through actually Body Bio on a call and just swore by your products and I started purchasing them. And then I reached out to you guys. I was like, I want to get you on the show because I'm a fan of the brand. So thank you for being down in Miami and doing this. And I'm hoping we do a masterclass together for my community.
We will.
Absolutely.
So we walk them through step by step what to do with their skin.
That's one of our favorite things to do. We love our community. We did a whole tour last year where we would have like 50, ClearStem girls, like women come in and we would walk them through a facial and then everyone got to mingle and chat and we would do a Q&A and you would love it. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming on and talking about your incredible line. And I'm actually going to link on stories my skincare routine with your products and what's been working for me. So guys, you can go to my Instagram and check that out. And where can people find you both? What are your handles?
You can find us, you can find ClearStem on all channels, at ClearStem Skincare, everywhere, all the channels. And then Danielle's Instagram is Danielle, the acne guru, and mine is Kayleigh Christina. We share a lot of lifestyle and foundational supports that we use. Like we talk about Body Bio all the time. And so ClearStem, it's like all skincare, acne education, aging all the time. And then on our personal accounts, you'll find not only that, but also all areas of life and wellness as it relates to skin health.
You will find a lot of stupid memes on mine.
They're the best. And they make me laugh every time.
Laughter is good for the skin.
Of course.
Can't forget that ingredient.
Happy. Thank you so much again for coming on Biohack-it. And I hope you guys love this episode. I love skincare. I love beauty. And I want to make you feel and look your best. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Biohack-it. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a short review. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you. Follow us on Instagram at biohack-it for exclusive content and the latest updates. Remember, your health is in your hand and curiosity heals.